Everyone, you guys ready to dive into tonight's episode of Ysterra, the Far Horizon? I am. And I cannot wait for Beth to give us a recap of the events that transpired last time we met. Take it away, Beth.
So today I thought it could be fun to do like a little call and response situation. So I'm going to say something and then you're all going to say what happened last time. Okay, are we ready? So
yes.
Just kidding. Okay, I took some notes and we'll see if they're good enough. Miko, I love this game and I'm sorry that I take shit notes. Okay. Lorraine, is that how we're pronouncing it?
Close enough.
All right, cool. So I said that whatever gifts that she possessed as a flame bearer are still present, even though the curse has been cleansed. Bren had passed out and shit was happening. There were flame tears. Serval and Mira and Terathos all used magic to try to save both of them. You know, then Bren turned into a bear in his sleep, which is always fun because it kind of freaks some people out. Mira was having a conversation with Terathos and said that she wanted to earn the title of Lightbearer, and she doesn't know what to do with it or channel, let's see, what did I say? Or channel her path with the heart of Orlumis. She wants to find her purpose. She wants justice against the cult. And then Terathos calls Bren the Gifted. My next note is all caps, very aggressive, and it says Mira is on the path to becoming a paladin. Oh, this is Sully, by the way. Hi, yes. He's now internet famous. He's so rude. So Mira is going to be a paladin now, which is really cool because what it means is Sweet Deb has been keeping a secret from me for a year and a half. Apparently, this is a long game. She knew this before we started playing the Far Horizon. So I've been lied to for a very long time, and it still hurts. My next note says, quote, Tig rides the bear. I do recall that moment, but I'll just leave it at that. 80 goes to apologize to Oriana for being a complete fucking idiot. Oriana slips her a note under the door that says, not now, which is okay, because we'll do this on her time. Then there was a chat with Zaranthra on the ship. We learned several things, I think. So we know that the Pale Herald is the Big Bad's vizier. He's a crazy powerful mage, and he crafted the Shadow Staff that the Emberless Flame wields. I know that we are traveling to Tokanoru. Is that how you say it? Tokanoru? Yeah.
Takanoru.
Takanoru. Okay. Zaranthra said that we should stop and visit a cartographer or two so that we actually know where the fuck we're going. She also said that we should do not get into trouble, sir. We should also be low-key,
That's
if
what
possible.
she said? Do not get into trouble, sir? Okay.
Well, and you know what? She meant it too, so I think it applies. She said we shouldn't let people know which direction we're flying. Because, you know, there are a lot of looky-loos and they're not all, nice. And that's all that happened for the whole episode. Can't wait to see what happens next.
That's everything. That's the full Monty. Nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely not at all.
Good to know. Yeah. Thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Oh, sure.
Who would like to take next? Deb, I think it's your turn in the rotation.
I feel like I just did it.
Did you?
I'll do it if I have to, as long as everyone.
If it's too much trouble for you,
no,
I hate to be a burden.
I will do it as long as everyone in the chat votes in this very important poll.
There's some votes coming in. Great. Thank you so much for that. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we pick things back up. Everyone is aboard the airship at present. You all have decided, I do believe, to set out for Takanoru, but there are a few things that still have yet to be taken care of at this point. Perhaps checking in with a cartographer, finding some maps, or getting some maps, that is, and or a visit to Ganthelrook, I think, was discussed as well. As you all wake up in the morning, long rest complete, what would you like to do? Anyone? Hey, Varl, thank you so much for tossing out some bits. Wow, you guys have a bunch of advantages.
Jeez.
I think I might have to waylay the airship travel now.
Oh.
Random encounter in the skies over Cavalia.
Jeez.
It seems like it's got to happen. Let me start working on that.
Bryn's gonna... I'm just gonna keep pushing. That's not happening. Bryn's gonna wake up and he's gonna head to the mess and kind of just start his morning due diligence, getting a pot of coffee going, kind of just standing around, and you know how you do with like your mug, warming your hands, just okay.
I think Tig is there behind you, watching how you make your coffee, so that they know how to do it for you tomorrow.
Oh, hey, thank you. Hey, Tig, how's it going? Okay, no one's up yet. Perfect. Like, he's legitimately standing there, kind of like tapping his fingers against his mug, like, no one's around.
Yeah, because normally at this time of morning, Ren would be there awake with you, huh?
Yeah, they would have been up already. So I think that's actually why he's kind of like a little antsy. I think this is you know what? I haven't done this in a while. And then he wild shapes into like a chipmunk. And he scurries into the twins' room.
I think we established that they have separate chambers.
Then he's going.
We're going to have a sleepover?
room.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had
right. You were doing a sleepover. That's right.
Sister sleepover. Yep.
Because you hadn't done that in a while.
Better. Chipmunk under the door, which honestly he could have just but you know, this is fun.
Yeah.
And I think once like he gets in there and he takes a look at everyone, or the two of them are still asleep, he's like, okay. And he uses another wild shape and he goes into a bear and he gets real close to Aiden's face. Just goes just bear breath right across their face.
Her hair sort of like blows back, and there's like a mist of bear spittle that covers her face. But she doesn't move initially, and then again, not moving, you just hear her say, "Good morning, Bren."
Now that we know that he can talk in bear form, he goes, "Good morning." It's just a bear right in front of your face. "Hello. Get up. Everybody should get up." And then kind of just like bear shuffles over to Mira. "Hello." And then does the same thing. Like right.
I think she like startles awake and like punches him in the snout accidentally, just out of reflex.
Like, jeez. Which hand do you punch him with?
That's a great question. I'm gonna roll for it. Evens are left hand, odds are right hand.
You're gonna punch him with the wrong one and the ship's gonna explode or something.
This is what's gonna happen. Oh, it's my dominant hand, so I'm now in pain.
You smack him with the hand. You feel the shockwave of pain just ripple like a lightning bolt up your arm, straight into your spinal column. You are instantly fully awake as this migraine just fills your skull. Your eyes, you start to see red, and then black at the edges of your vision start to fade in. You almost pass out from the pain of it. And you guys can all very plainly see the pain upon Mira's face. 80 feels it to this close proximity. 80 gets a very hot, powerful spike of adrenaline and emotion from that as it ripples through her connection with her sister.
Bren, get out of here. And she'll shove him by the bare butt out the door. Not his bare butt, you guys. His bare butt.
Doesn't matter how many times you say it, it's still bad.
Bare butt.
Bare butt.
Mira, just breathe.
Fine.
Breathe through it.
Mira's like fully in the fetal position, like curled around her hand.
80 will just sort of sit by her and like rub her back while it sort of ebbs away.
Guess I'll go mess with Siska now.
I was going to ask, where's Bear Bren headed off to cause chaos now?
Yeah, just like Baloo from Jungle Book. He's just like...
walking on his hind legs?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great just to think about. There's just this big brown bear that's walking around this airship talking. Okay, here we go.
Who is ostensibly in charge as well.
Yeah, I'm the captain now.
Is Sisk sleeping in the engine room or in their quarters?
I think I feel like Sisk regularly sleeps in the engine room, even if they don't have to. That's probably where they are. I feel like Tig would see Bren go on about, and Sisk will be just like, still, I think they're in a bit of a hammock or something, and in there awake, and just will wave.
None of you are fun this morning. I'm trying to liven the mood. All right, get up. We probably should start the day.
Okay, let's get going. Do we have anywhere to be today? Or are we leaving today?
Again, mind you, bear, hind legs, speaking. I do have to go to Ganthelrook to pick up something that I asked him to kind of put together for me. We do need to speak to a cartographer too. I don't know if we've done that already before we head off. And then of course supplies and information, stuff and things. Sits on his bare butt. I'm already tired. I just woke up. Normally I wouldn't mess with you all, but Ren's usually the first one up, and we have one of those talks.
Oh. Well, two things. I could talk with you, or alternatively, you can stay here. I can go deal with or the cartographer or whatever. You can just go see Ganthelrook and come back, deal with ship stuff.
Possibly. I think maybe take one of the twins with you too, just to, one, safety in numbers, and two, just, you know what? You should probably take 80, because Mira can kind of speak that we have the things in our ear. It's been a morning, Sisk. I haven't had my coffee. Yeah, you do what's best. I'll figure everything else out. I'm not sad. I'm just sleepy. I'm sad. I'm a little sad, actually. Now he's fully on his belly. kind of like how dogs do when they're laying down, just like this. He's like, oh, noted. I'm just concerned. Again, still bear. I'm just concerned that we won't be able to find Ren in time. And how are we going to explain that to Violet when they come back?
Shit. I think they're still in the hammock, and they're gonna go over and they're gonna just like pet your head, just to like try to be relaxing. I think, I don't know, Violet. I miss her. I don't know how to update her, but
that's the thing. I hope we don't have to.
Yeah.
I hope we figure it out and Ren comes back as much as themselves as they can. I mean, I know they won't, at least not completely, but
we'll do what we can for her as much as we can. I'm willing to take this boat wherever it needs to be to get her help too. So even if that means going to go shout at our Loomis himself.
It seems like we might have to. The way everything's going. Okay. Well, I should get off my bare butt. Yeah.
Bare stomach.
You want to ride?
Yes. I slide out of the hammock.
Now it's just Sisk Bear Brand walking around the deck. All right, get up, everybody. Get up.
Circus time.
Phelan comes out, shaking off the morning grogginess. This is still like just after sun's rise, so it's still really early in the morning. And Phelan, of course, asks what the plan is. You tell him a few things as far as like getting the ship together and such, that some folks need to head off and take care of a few things in town, but the intention being to take flight as soon as possible.
That can wait after breakfast. Like, sit down, gather yourself, eat something, and we'll go from there.
The family wakes up as well. Nora says that she's going to head off into town just to pick up a couple of things as well. Just to make sure everything is well stocked for the journey. She does ask for a few coins from the chest in order to cover that. And
I think Bryn like shuffles over more, not because it just get whatever. Just make sure that we're comfortable.
Yeah. You can tell pretty clearly that there's a bit of a melancholy to the rest of the crew. I mean, Oriana was already a bit melancholy, but you get the sense that waking up this morning, Ren being gone is starting to hit perhaps a little bit harder than it did the day before. And there's a noticeable amount of just sadness in the crew.
Hey, everybody, let's kind of like gather everyone, to have a chat.
Okay. Do you do this on deck or in the crew cabin?
I'd say in the crew cabin. I mean, if it'll accommodate.
Oh yeah, crew cabin's big enough to accommodate everybody.
Yeah, I'd say in the crew cabin, because just in case if there's still some like looky-loos or if somebody's watching us, they can't really see what's going on. Hey, so listen, I understand with Ren gone, being taken, that everything's extremely on edge. And I'd like to sit here in front of you all and say we have things under control, but we don't. I'm not going to lie to you. But we will figure this out. and every one of you will be okay. We are going to get back in the skies here today, and we're going to venture forth and figure out what we could do to find Ren. So, it's okay if you're sad, but don't stay there. We need everybody to focus as we move forward. So, I'd call for an all hands in, but that doesn't seem like a thing to do. And then he like slowly puts, again, still in bear form, slowly puts a bear paw on the table, hoping somebody else would jump in, looking at Sis.
I didn't realize you were still in bear form when you were doing
They're
this.
always now.
This is my comfort zone.
Taryn immediately beats Siska to the punch, so to speak, getting a hand on top of the paw. Taryn is,
Oh yeah.
Taryn's all into it. And, compared to his, 11-year-old self, and your paw's enormous.
Honestly, if no one else joined in and if it was just me, Taryn, and Sisk, I'd be down. This is enough for me.
Sisk pops in, Nora and Dove as well. There's a little bit of hesitancy on the part of Oriana, but she does come closer and she starts to reach her hand in, but she just places her hand on the table, and she mutters very quietly to herself, something about physical contact being a thing.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. Boundaries. Okay, we won't prolong this. Everybody, you know your jobs. Get the boat going. Some of us are going into town, so we're going to start that up too. I'm actually going to turn to Oriana. I'm going to ask them if they wanted to go with me together.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Listen, if you change your mind before I leave, let me know.
Okay. I'll let you know.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go on the upper deck, do a sweep, grab some rope, things
You
like
head
that.
up there.
Bear
Few-
bread.
Yeah, you head up there. A few folks start breakfast and such. Tig is apparently learning how to, make a few things. Nora is trying to teach Tig how to cook and such. It's going okay. There's not a lot of ingenuity to Tig. Tig can follow the recipe perfectly, but has a very difficult time improvising. And so, yeah, that's what Tig is up to. What about the rest of you?
I think after, Jesus Christ. I think after 80 spends some time with Mira, oh my God.
Katie,
Talking.
Katie, are you awake? Katie.
Get out of here. He's like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
You're just talking at your computer? That's crazy. What am I doing? So after she spends some time with Mira and makes sure that she's doing okay, that the pain is subsiding a little bit, I think she would be a little bit reluctant to leave Sister sleepover because her focus is fully on Mira right now because she's the one who is in pain, but she's also feeling a little bit tender herself because, there's the situation with Oriana that she knows will take time, but she had hoped that maybe, a cup of tea and an apology might miraculously do something. So she's feeling a little bit guilty about that. She's worried about Ren, and how the heck we're supposed to find her amidst everything that's going on, and trying to work our way through an insane cult to get her. And thinking about Ren makes her think about Violet quite a bit. 80 really misses Violet, and she's also really glad that she wasn't here to see her manifest her power again, because last time it frightened Violet, and she doesn't really know how she would be able to explain that it made her feel really good and she was in control, and she's not sorry about it, but she just keeps picturing Violet's face after that first time, and it kind of leaves a pit in her stomach. So she will just sort of sit with Mira for a while, and then will escape before having to deal with her own feelings. I think she would try to help a little bit in the kitchen as Tig is learning, just to sort of maybe clean up as things get knocked over and scorched. And then after that, I think she would head up and start getting things prepared to shove off. It's easier for her to throw herself into tasks than to deal with, feelings.
Yep. That fits, given 80's history. I think it's important to note that as you are cleaning up, Phelan, very quickly finishes their breakfast, and then heads up above decks. And so by the time you get out there, you can tell that Phelan is already busting their butt to, get the rigging ready and to make sure that the sails are tight, and, all of those shipboard tasks that you guys had been divvying up on your journey to Kuvalia. Phelan is just throwing themselves into getting as much of those things done themselves as possible. And so you end up having to help, with that, because it's not a one-person job. However skilled Phelan might be compared to the rest of you as far as, being a sailor and such, it's still not a one-person job, no matter how hard Phelan tries. So, what about Mira?
After 80 leaves, Mira is going to pull out those 2 Kuvalian history books that Bren had gotten for her, and she's going to look through them for anything about the Emperor, the Emperor's Vizier, or the Pale Herald, because knowing that the Pale Herald is the Emperor's Vizier, she wants to see if there's any mention and she can get any information about that person.
Given the context of the books, as we had already described, how one of them is an actual history book and one of them is a revised history book, it's not going to be a simple scan process. This is going to take you a couple of days, right? So we'll do a roll for that, but save that for the travel time for the roll.
Okay, great.
Use that as part of that. What I'm more curious about is, in this instance, how is her hand, particularly after the events of the morning, impacting her ability to do that task?
I think it's just sort of a constant distraction, because it's the presence of the pain is just always there, and as much as she can think about other tasks and things, it's just always a part of what she's doing, and so she feels like she can't fully focus or fixate on anything before her, because a part of her is just perpetually thinking and feeling her hand and the pain, and kind of taken up with the constant just frustration of it, and the realization that it's not going to go away, and that she's going to be dealing with pain, and it's going to be chronic for a while, and then there are going to be flare-ups and things that exacerbate it. And so she's just really kind of mentally divided between what she wants to do and then the ever-present pain.
Given that context, how do you think Mira would process that situation? Would she try to process it analytically, or would she try to will herself through it?
She'd absolutely try to will herself through it.
Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I'm going to use an advantage.
Okay. Oof.
Not much better. I got a 10.
Okay. Given that context, Mira's going to be at disadvantage on things for the next couple of days.
Okay.
Do you think... I feel like this
Days?
I feel like this is the first time that she has had to deal with chronic pain.
Yeah.
And certainly chronic pain to the nth degree that this represents, right? And so it's having a pretty severe impact on her. Now, that isn't to say that Mira can't ask for help and, try to do things to help mitigate the pain. But unless she does something like that, it's going to be hard going. So, just something to consider. Hey, you know that there are a few things that still have to be done for the engine, the Arcanic engine, because again, it's not, you can hot start the engine or cold start the engine rather, but it's a lot better if, it has a chance to actually warm up, so to speak. But you can start that process and then have Tig kind of monitor things and go off and head into town if you would like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, anyways. And for going into town, I'll make sure that Nora has enough. And she can do all of the supplies for the ship. That's fine. I'm gonna allow her to have that.
If there's anyone on the ship that could be a good quartermaster,
it's her.
I feel like it's Nora.
I think it might be in the family, but who knows?
I kind of figured that's just what we were doing.
Yeah. I'll go to see cartographers and stuff. I'll be in a random guise. I'll be a fire genasi. It'll be fun.
Oh, you're going to take a new form. Excellent. Now, it's also worth asking, you had been pretty adamant before about the notion of, purveying shops owned by Dragonborn and the like. Do you think Sisk goes out of their way to do that in this instance?
I would definitely... Yeah, I would take the opportunity to hit up some of those shops, and especially if I'm by myself, ducking into an alley, switching, and then going back out. Yeah, and keeping eyes for tails just in case. But
yeah, okay. Do you feel comfortable kind of giving us a little bit of story on that experience?
Oh,
like you world building here and making that up?
Oh, okay. The streets and shops that I end up going in, you mean?
The entire situation, the entire encounter that is Sisk going and finding the coming out with the maps. That's the end goal. You can do that. There's no impediment. We don't have to roll or haggle or anything like that. There's no impediment to you guys getting good solid maps of Kuvalia. So I'm just opening the floor here for you to express some creativity with that. I would like you to roll a perception check, though.
Okay. Oh, perception is one I'm okay with at. I will use an advantage in advance.
Okay.
Just because.
We like it when you do that.
That's 23 for perception.
Amazing. Sisk does end up recognizing someone tailing them.
Ooh.
While they are a genasi.
Interesting. Okay, I can put that in.
Now, I will say that if there's an attempt to confront that tail, the tail sees that they're made and disappears. Like,
Yeah, I can
literally vanishes.
That's interesting. I definitely would. Okay, yeah. So I think initially I would go into town. I'm a little fire genasi. I'm gonna hit up. That's who I'm gonna be as when I go to the cartographers. I imagine there's like a guild for that or something, like some sort of organization of cartographers of the area, or
absolutely. You probably end up like in a guild hall, and they have like a list of all of the official like shops and everything. And if you are serious about going to like a Dragonborn purveyor, you end up having to talk to people and get the lowdown because their names have been removed from the lists.
Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, so I would go to some of the Genasi cartographers as well, I think, to it's also good to know what they think of the areas and what they, if anything has changed, perhaps. And I'll get of Takanoru.
Yeah, so that's like the central region of Kuvalia.
Yeah. I'll try to get like a close up of that area. I try to get something a little bit blown out of Kuvalia, kind of also areas close to the border, so we can see where we can end up for the future. I'd want to, I definitely tried to notice. I would notice the tail, and they would definitely disappear before I could do anything about it. That's a shame. I'm like really bummed about it.
Did you take 80 with you? I know Bren had mentioned.
Oh, that's right.
You don't have to. I'm just curious if she was.
I forgot completely, and I think Siska would have.
Wow, it's funny how that happens sometimes. How it's just a totally normal thing for you to forget about bringing someone into town with you. And like, guess what? I forgive you. I forgive you immediately.
You also didn't know that I was told to bring you, so hey,
that's
works for
fair.
me.
Yep.
Yeah, and
what
then,
is happening?
Oh no, there's a lot of catfighting going on here.
And then I think I wouldn't go into the Dragonborn shops as a Genasi, though. I would change into a Dragonborn form.
I assumed that you would go as Serval, because I think that the point was to be visible, that the people from the airship were shopping, at Dragonborn establishments.
So then I would definitely be Serval for that. And I don't know. I don't know how they would react to me being there, because I think the Serval form is a human, right? So
you tell me.
I think they might be more at ease too, since I am human and not a Genasi. I would obviously look like I'm not from the area too.
Right.
I would say hello.
Yeah, like as fluent as Sisk might be in languages, I think Sisk does have a bit of an accent, unless they do something to try to, performance their way through hiding their accent. So I think it would be apparent to someone of Kuvalian origins that Serval is not Kuvalian.
Yeah. I would hope to get either like maps of the same areas, and I would and kind of the area that I know the water genasi, kind of where we're going to be headed. Oh, that is Takanoro. Never mind.
No. So the water genasi are in Narujin.
Okay, so I would definitely get Dragonborn maps of the Narujin area, kind of how to get to that, the connecting areas. I don't know that anyone would have the mountain range in great detail that we're eventually going to.
Not in great detail, but I will note that the Dragonborn cartographer would have like a map of the mountain areas with special notation for the tallest mountains and other important geographical features. There's no civilizations in the mountains. There's no towns or anything like that in the mountains on any map. And certainly the forge, or what did I call it? The anvil shrine is not on any map. So, but there are several major geographical features. There's very tall mountains. There's the elemental cascades. There's several very notable places that people travel to, as dangerous as the mountain range is.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So if I think I would have arms full of maps. Just gonna waddle around back home, I guess, to the ship.
Yeah, you head back to the ship with your armful of maps. It is worth mentioning that on your return to the ship, you do not spot any kind of a tail or anything, regardless of what form you take.
Oh, interesting. So, okay.
Yeah. All right, Ian. You're heading off to Ganthelrook's?
Yes.
Did you do anything on board the ship before departing?
No, outside of just the normal tasks and kind of seeing that everybody has a direction. No, he just goes into town. He's back in normal form, if that's what you're asking.
I mean, that was going to be my next question, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you answering preemptively. Great. So you head off into town. It is worth mentioning, and this is something, Kay, that Sisk probably would have picked up on as well, that for whatever reason, there are less of the people, the protester type folk around town today. You're not sure why that would be, or anything like that, but it is notable at the very least. And so, Bren, as you head into town, you make your way to Ganthelrook's. Do I have... Where is... Oh, I do. Yay. As you head into the Quirk and Curio, you find Ganthelrook inside. As soon as you open the door, you see Ganthelrook in the main shopping area of the establishment. But you also note that he's not alone. As you make your way inside, you see a figure, tall, dark-complected woman, flowing white hair that cascades around her form, blowing in an unseen breeze. I think that Bren instinctively would recognize her as some type of a religious figure just from the fine religious regalia and adornments that she wears. Her white robes cascade down the floor. You can't see hands nor feet. They extend fully to the floor, and she has this very intricate pauldron collar feature made of seemingly leather and gold across her shoulders and neck. And as you make your way inside, the two of them glance towards you, and you see her eyes, pure silver. You see the pupils present, even though the pupils are silver as well. And she looks at you, and at first you are thrown by it as she stares at you, because it feels like she's literally peering into your soul. She has such an intense gaze. And you even see a hint of light kind of reflect across her eyes, almost like a wave of magic. And she looks at Bren for just a moment before a gentle smile comes to her face, and her expression changes from that very seriousness to welcoming and relaxed. How would Bren react to that?
I think like not really ignoring the fact that there was that moment. He doesn't stand on it. He approaches, reciprocating the welcome and what have you. Good morning. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting something. I can come back in a little while.
And Gantharuk starts to speak, but then she kind of speaks over him because you remember Gantharuk is a bit of a mumbler. He's not quite as direct, and this woman is very direct. And she says, "No, it is fine. Welcome in. You are..." And she seems to be beckoning his name.
Bren. My name is Bren. And yours?
Ysterra.
Yeah. One more time.
Ysterra.
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
Of the Skyborn Sanctuary. You do remember, Bren would somewhat remember that name as the High Priestess of the Sanctuary that Gantharuk had indicated he was very close to.
Yes.
For some of the things that...
Back.
Yeah. As that triggers in your mind, she asks, "And how is your injured friend?"
She's managing, although not quickly enough. I don't think it's spreading, but it's still extremely painful for them, and it still looks really bad, but they're managing.
Of course. Well, sometimes injuries can take a toll, and there should never be a timeline for healing.
I'd like to hope that there was one, especially for one that is potentially a curse. I would prefer that not stay around.
She is cursed.
Yes, it seems as though the injury is a potential curse.
Aye. Well, if there is anything that the Sanctuary can do, we are happy to lend aid.
Can you remove a curse?
Well, potentially, yes.
Potentially
It depends upon the nature of the curse. Most go away simply with the use of various divine magics, but some can be persistent.
Any knowledge or experience with the potential fire demon curse?
Fortunately, many. Some years ago in another lifetime, and there's a moment of kind of wistfulness in her expression as she remembers something from obviously very long ago. There was a eruption in the mountains to the south. Fire elementals poured out by the score, and left a magma spume wake destruction in their path. It was quite difficult. Many of several different orders came to the aid of the people. Many were scarred in the process. So yes, I do have experience with demons made of fire.
This explosion, did it leave a large cavern in its wake? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna kind of lay it out. One of our friends were kidnapped by a certain group of people that seem to be worshiping or mind controlled by this fire demon type thing. And there's this large sinkhole. Is that what you were referring to?
No, it's not, but I'm very
Of course.
curious about what you discovered. Have you informed anyone else of this flame-imbued sinkhole that you found?
Not really, no.
I need to clarify, are you purposefully not telling her about the other temple?
Yeah, because I don't know if they're feuding or not.
Well,
and then
you were present when Kelesnor spoke highly of Ysterra in the Skyborn Sanctuary, that they had worked together in the past. So
I still kind of want to keep it here with it. Like, no, not really.
do you mind sharing the location with me that I might be able to investigate?
I do, actually, because we ran into a lot of danger, and I wouldn't feel comfortable if that happened to you all.
Very well. You should know, though, that my curiosity is piqued now, and I will try to find it nonetheless.
That just means the amount of research you're going to do is be more extensive because you don't know as much. Then hopefully you'll find a way to help my friend.
Very well. Ganthelrook, if you don't need me anymore. And Ganthelrook just kind of, who has been sitting very quietly throughout all of this, just kind of bumbles over himself and says, "Oh, no, we've got everything. I'll let you know about the crystals as soon as they're done. And yes, I look forward to seeing you again very soon." And she kind of smiles to him and bows her head towards him, and she starts to float towards the door. You realize now that her feet very likely are not touching the ground, and perhaps the reason that she is so tall is that she is levitating her way out of the room. And as she passes you, she gives you a very proper bow of the head, and still has that gentle smile upon her face. And she says, "Until we meet again."
Until we meet again. Then he reciprocates the bow respectfully. It's probably not as good, but...
And as she heads out of the shop, you see Ganthelrook still standing there. It's worth noting... Sorry about that. It is worth noting that as Ysterra leaves their shop, Ganthelrook is still looking after her. There's a bit of wistfulness in his expression.
Yeah, I know that look.
Oh, right, yes. Bren, yes.
Morning, friend. Are
Good
you
morning.
doing okay?
Yes, things are going well. Yes, I'm sorry about your friend. I hope she'll be all right.
She will be. It's not the first time that we found ourselves in, honestly, something similar. It's just this one's affecting us a little bit more now that I guess we're so far from home. Hey, you have something for me, yes?
Oh, yes, I do. I finished it day before yesterday. One moment. And Ganthelrook scurries back into the back of the shop. And a few moments later, he comes out, and you can see that he carries a small leather pouch in his hands. And he comes out and he unties the leather pouch, and he empties out the contents of it into his other hand. And you see a gem no larger than a robin's egg. But it is very clear through looking at the deep crimson color of it that there is a swirl of light that kind of seems to reflect across the inner layers of the gemstone. It's glassy, and the light gives it almost this, like, seeing lightning in slow motion rippling through the gemstone. And he just kind of reaches out and, gestures for you to take it.
Okay. He takes it, he has his hand, and he goes like,
As soon as your hand touches
Oh.
it, you can feel that it is amazingly cold to the touch. Like, shockingly so. And as you kind of are enamored with the light of it, you can see that spiraling around this gemstone in the finest inscription that you have ever seen is runic words etched in various patterns across its surface, barely visible. And honestly, you can feel them more than you can see them. And as you are so enamored with it, Ganthelrook says to you, "So that's a bloodstone gem. Are you familiar with? It doesn't matter. This one is of my own design. It's one of mine. You see the red spires to the north in Kuvalia produce an amazing variety of gemstones, and I have often found that they take to holding the magic of Arcana very, very, very well. And so if you infuse just enough abjuration within them, and you place just enough runes of enchantment in them and around them, you can cast certain magic into it, and it will hold on to it and wait for it to be used. It puts it in, it's almost like a stasis, if you will, where time does not pass. And it holds on to that power until the wielder wants to release it. It's not flashy by any means, but it's very reliable. It is worth mentioning, though, that the magic that gets used once it's expelled out, it takes a certain amount of time before the runes are able to hold on to that magic once again. And so if there's an effort to recharge it, to put more magic inside of it immediately after it has been used, then it won't work. The magic will fizzle. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. So will it recharge itself, or is there something that I need to do
Well,
it.
anyone capable of producing arcana can infuse a spell into the stone.
Right.
And then once it's
Infuse
used, you wait for some time before it recharges itself, and then that action can be done again.
Got it. That answered that part of the question. And is this able to house like magic of affliction?
Potentially, any magic of fairly decent power, yes.
What's the cost?
The expenditure of infusing the magic to begin with? Mechanically speaking, this is a gem that will store a spell up to 3rd level.
Okay. I mean, that's something. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Did I offer you enough for this? This seems
yes,
like
indeed.
It took a lot
And he goes over and retrieves a small pouch that has some coins in it. This is the remainder.
I don't know. That's yours. It's perfectly fine. You were extremely kind to us when we first came into town, even though we weren't really knowledgeable about the rules. I don't think most people here would have done that. So it's a gift.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to someone who needs it.
Perfect. Okay. We're gonna be leaving town soon.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Where are you headed?
I don't know if I should say.
Okay. You do not have to share your journeys with an old doddering fool such as myself.
When I come back, I'll let you know the full story. Let me go experience the adventure first, so when I come back, I have something to tell. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Thank you, friend. That was it. That's all I needed.
Safe journeys to you and your companions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. One last thing. Do you have something that could restore someone's mind?
A very tricky question.
So let's say somebody was either manipulated magically or through unfortunate acts to where, they're not themselves. Do you have something that could ease that or restore what was there before?
Memory shaping magic is quite potent and often very dangerous. I can research the topic,
shaping?
but, well, yes, that's essentially what you're asking about, is the ability to shape memories and potentially recover lost ones. These things are not trivial.
No, more so restoration.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
The mind's a difficult place to work safely. That is one of the reasons that curses and enchantments that affects one's ability to control their own action are so very dangerous.
Yeah, we know that. We know that too well, unfortunately. Okay. I was just wondering.
Maybe when you get back, I'll have something to give to you in that regard, but I'll see what I can come up with.
Thank you. Last thing. This is more so of a selfish ask, something fun.
Okay.
You have anything that can make me fly?
I have a potion. It's temporary.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How temporary?
If I recall correctly, it's about 10 minutes.
Damn. How much?
I think the extra that you provided would cover it.
That's for charity. I'll take one.
Very well. And he goes
Thank
over
you.
to one of his locked boxes of potions, and he pulls out a potion of flying. Hands it to him.
Perfect. For some reason, I think it would be a lot of fun for where we're going for someone to see a flying bear. That'll be it, Ganthelrook.
Very confused by that as you head out.
Yeah.
Head out of the Quirk and Curio.
I'm out here for shenanigans. Perfect. The Stormborn Temple, is it far from Ganthelrook's store?
The Tempered Soul or the Skyborn Sanctuary?
Skyborn Sanctuary, sorry.
The Skyborn Sanctuary is outside of the city, actually. So on the south edge of the city, where the ridgeline ends, there is like on the north where you guys are parked, there's a plateau, but on the south there's a very tall, tall by comparison to the rest of the landscape. It's a mountain, but it's not. It's like 4,000 or 5,000 feet. There's a mountain there, and the Skyborn Sanctuary exists on top of that mountain.
Got it. Okay. Last thing, and then I think I'm done with this.
Okay.
There was a conversation about a storefront. We had that conversation earlier when we first came into town because we're like, oh, we make a great bakery. But then later on, we got some information to where that was important. I think it was connecting into the quote unquote butthole cult. I regret saying what I just said. But it was connected to the cult, or whether it was a place to where it was an entrance to or an exit from their transportation or something like that.
That's
Am I
not
going
here.
down a line that's not correct?
That's not in this town. You don't know what town that is in. That was described to you by Lorraine. She had told you of the places that she had visited or traveled through when she was using the gateway. And that was what she described as one of the places, but that was not here in Atarak. That was somewhere else in Kuvalia.
Okay, I feel like that store still had some type of significance. Maybe not.
There was a dragonborn baker here that you had seen on the way into town that was basically closing up business because of the lack of business. That might be what you're thinking about. When it had been described to you, the impact of the hatred of Dragonborn, that was one of the places that was described to you as going out of business or had gone out of business because of the whole Dragonborn thing.
Got it. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
So we will expedite things unless there's something else that anyone wants to do in town. You all meet back up on the airship.
All right. We ready? Those are a lot of maps.
Yeah, a lot to look at. But I got maps of where we're going right now and maps for further down the line. So
You can read them?
yeah, they're from here.
Okay. I mean, 'cause I don't think we all can, so it might be.
Oh, yeah.
Mira and Oriana can both read them.
I'm probably asking you guys to teach me so I can look at them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. Solid. I meet with Nora, make sure we're good.
Yeah, you find Nora down below stocking up the kitchen with some very fresh things. It being springtime, she actually has quite an array of fresh berries and the like, and she indicates that she'll be making a few pies and custards over the next couple of days. So be prepared for that.
Oh, it's gonna be lovely. Thank you so much. Where's Taryn?
Taryn's probably running around on the top deck trying to be useful. So
I catch him as he runs by. Hey, what are you doing? Noogie, here. Hands like a little bag of like, it's just stacked with like candy and stuff. Don't tell your mother.
Tucks it away into a belt pouch, runs off. Mom!
Oh, jeez, that's the exact. Well, you know what? You can't fault the boy for being honest. He should keep that up. Okay, perfect. I mean, if all of the pertinents are, let's sail this mother.
So, are you giving the gemstone over to whoever you had commissioned it for, or is that something that you're holding on to?
We have some time. I want to get in the air first. Ooh, okay. That sounds dangerous. Hold on. Thinking, nope, this is where we're going to stay. I want to get into the air, and then we'll take care of it on our downtime.
All right. You all gather up as a crew. Everyone sets about their tasks. It is different without Ren being here. Ren had always been that kind of rock presence for all of you. Ren would relay anything that the captain would say to make sure it got to who it needed to get to. Sometimes Ren would even tell people what they needed to be doing without the captain indicating such. And so taking off without Ren is difficult this time. Some of you might even feel challenged in the same ways that you were challenged when you first flew the airship. The flight to get into the sky isn't as easy as it was last time. But you are still successful. You take off. You head into the skies of Kuvalia with purpose in mind. The notion that you need to track down this Kurakash, that you need to find some kind of way to recover, save Ren. You have some direction. You at least know where the cult has been. And now you must retrace their steps. As you navigate your way in the direction of Takanoru, between Sisk, Mira, Rihanna, you're all able to suss out that it's going to be about 5 days' journey, provided that there's no impediment to it. You could potentially push the engines a bit if you wanted to shorten that journey, but that presents some hazards, particularly without Ren there. Phelan is doing everything that they can to navigate, steer the ship in place of Ren. But even that's not as skilled as when Ren did it. Your first day, you all set about to the various things that you want to be doing, but it is worth mentioning that your tasks as crew members come first. And on this first day, it's a lot more difficult than any of you expected. As you touch down for the evening, you all come together for dinner. Nora seems to be doing whatever she can to lift people's spirits. Hearty, sumptuous meal, followed by a very fresh mixed berry pie. Even some whipped cream for topping. go with. Is there anything that any of you wish to do or let me know of that you did during the day before you all settle in for the evening? This is a role play moment for all of you.
Yeah, I think that after having had a sister sleepover and then with the unpleasant wake-up call for Mira this morning, I think Adie would want to try to hang out with her a little bit more. I also think she would gravitate towards her because she is having tough feelings herself, and though she doesn't care to talk about them at the moment, she knows that her sister always comforts her. So just spending some, normal sister time together. How's your hand?
Well, it's fine, I guess. I don't know. It hurts all the time, and it makes doing stuff really difficult. But Beth's face is because Monster is down there, and he hasn't been down there for a while because dog.
It's the best day of my life.
Have you fixed things with Oriana yet?
No. I don't expect to immediately, as much as I wish that could happen. I really fucked up and I hurt her feelings badly. So it'll take time. I hope I can make it up to her sometime, but just I don't know, keep an eye on her. Make sure she's, doing okay from time to time. I don't want to overwhelm her. Just kind of want to give her some space.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we can craft something fun for her, and we could do like a whole girl sleepover situation with her and Serval, and
I mean, that could be a lot of fun. Oh my god, it's raining. This is the best. That could be a lot of fun. I also think that I shouldn't be the one to invite her to something like that. I'd imagine that an invitation from me isn't, the best right now.
What if we made like fancy formal invitations? I can't write right now, but I'm happy to deliver it.
Why?
If you wanna,
Why can't you write right now?
Really?
Because she's all left.
But
I'm officially Buster Bluth. Yeah, if you want to like make fancy invitations, I can go deliver them, and we can like deck this out and make like a pillow fort and.
Okay, my fear is, since we're in the air and traveling and things are kind of bonkers, is that we'll send out this invitation and then it won't be able to happen because circumstances in the sky, I don't know, and then it will just kind of be like another failed plan. Am I overthinking it?
Yes, always.
Okay. Well, then sure, I will make an invitation. I'm not putting a date or time on there, just so you know.
Okay.
Okay. How did your conversation go? Does it look like there's a good fix? I mean, I know you told me a little bit last night, but How are you feeling about all of it? About the solutions they've offered?
It's just going to take time, and you know that I'm the most patient person you've ever met, so...
So patient.
Yeah. I don't know. I think between Dove and Sisk and me and maybe you, I don't know, you had all those blacksmithing days. Maybe we can cobble something together.
I hope so. Does that feel right to you?
Yeah, kind of.
I feel like you've got a lot on your mind right now. And I'm not prying. You know you don't have to tell me anything. I just, you know.
I feel like we left home and I thought things would be, I don't know, wonderful. I didn't expect that we'd immediately run into cultists who are bad, and I don't know. I don't want to fight someone else's war.
No. Seems like we found ourselves kind of stuck in the middle of all of it, though. Again.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anywhere that we can go that we won't find ourselves in a ton of trouble immediately?
I hope so.
Me too.
How are you doing? I know it's weird without Violet here.
Yeah. It is. I miss her all the time. And I'm worried about Ren, obviously just because she's Ren, but I'm worried about Ren for Violet. And Ren was the only one who knew that Violet was okay, wherever she is, whatever she's doing. And now Ren's not here to remind me that Violet's okay. So I don't like not knowing, and I can't feel her from here. And then I think about everything that's happening with my magic, and I mean, you were there. It just sort of popped off again. And it felt powerful and effective and right in a way that I haven't really felt before. But then I see Violet's face the first time it happened and how scared she was of me. And I don't know if that's... I don't know if I should be afraid of it. I don't know if I can trust my gut. I can trust you, though, so you have to tell me, what do I do?
I don't think being afraid of it is going to help you harness it. I think it'll make things worse.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried the whole, hiding my magic stuff, and I mean, it worked for a good while. We had a good run. It did, chip away at my soul a bit every day, but,
I trust you. And I want to help you find out what is behind it all. And what
I want
the
that too.
limits are.
I don't know if Bren will allow me to test the limits of whatever the fuck this is.
I mean, not immediately. I'm not saying jump to the very extreme right away.
I'm just saying, you know, he'd go all dad mode and, you know. I'm curious, you know, how this magic came to me, especially, I mean, yours makes sense to me because if, you know, you can sort of trace it directly to something. Have you heard from Orlumis? Felt Orlumis?
I mean, there's an occasional, like, warmth from the crystal.
Okay.
But no other face-to-face encounters.
I mean, I figured you would have told me if that was the case, but, you know, I don't know. You keep secrets sometimes. Okay, we should have talked about this at the sister sleepover because it's like the prime time for this kind of stuff, but like, what's the deal with Phelan? It's like you're hanging out with them all the time, but then also, I don't know. Are you like roommates at this point? Is this...
I don't know.
I love how frazzled you are, by the way. This is really great for me. Go ahead.
I'm sure it is. I just feel like there's so much going on that I don't know how to be happy.
Well, now I feel shitty for making fun of you. What do you mean you don't know how to be happy?
I feel like they're so tied to my life in Orlestrin, and I'm on some sort of journey and I don't know where it's going to take me, and I don't know if we can go together.
I mean, that's entirely reasonable. I know things are a bit complicated because we're all sort of, you know, I don't want to say trapped together, but I don't think that it's not something that you have to worry about, you know? Like, if you're, no, not like a, you know, just don't think about it, but just, if you want to focus on this journey that you're on, I mean, I don't think it's something that they have to come along with. I like, it's your life, it's your journey, and if you love them and want to have them be a part of it, that's awesome. And if not, that's okay too. They were a friend of ours before any of this.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I need to figure out my shit before I make it complicated with someone else, but it's already complicated, and then I feel bad. And
all right, dial it back. Let's get like base level with this. Do you think Phelan is hot?
Obviously.
Okay. Do you enjoy spending time with Phelan?
Yes.
Okay. Do you enjoy spending time with Phelan in a relationship?
I don't even know what that means.
You know what that means. You're just deflecting.
I like spending time with them. I also really like being independent.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go a different way with that, but yeah, you're good at being independent. I don't know. This is tricky because on the one hand, be independent. That's wonderful, but also you're allowed to rely on other people. On the other hand, if you're not vibing, then you don't have to stay together. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I brought this up and now I feel like I've just sort of dredged up shit that's going to stress you out even more. I was curious and now I have regrets. So. Here for you, sis.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah.
Would you write those invitations already?
Yeah. Fine. Okay. If you need help breaking up with Phelan, just let me know. I can also write an invitation, uninviting them from being in a relationship with you.
Listen.
Or if you want to lean into it, I can help you write a really smutty love letter.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I saw some of your little notes with Delia, so I'm aware of how smutty you can get. Don't
You're a
eat it.
snoop.
Listen. Curiosity.
That was good stuff, though. Anyways, I'm going to go write some invitations. You just sit here and think about your existence, I guess. If you want to help me with this.
I am happy to dictate. This is...
Yeah. Hey, do you want to do a thumb war?
It's cut off, 80.
All right, come help me do things.
As the camera pans away. Or anything else anyone would like to do on this evening before we transition?
Yeah.
Ian, you look confused.
I'm not confused. I'm triggered. If you're not vibing, then say you're not vibing. But I am vibing. Sorry. Personals. Brent knocks on the door of Mira's room. Hey.
You find them drawing things?
I mean, honestly, it's not the craziest thing that they could be doing. Drawing is nice. Drawing is fine. Hey, what you doing? I was gonna stand there and be weird. What you doing? Hello?
What? Me?
The twins.
What?
He knocked on the twins' door.
Yeah, knocked on the door after your guys' conversation.
Hi, what's up? Yeah.
Now I need to know what you all are doing. The both of you seem very like, are you doing something that's bad?
80's being nosy. Now we are trying to make invitations for a little girls' night.
Oh, that's nice. For the two of you?
Yes, we are inviting each other to a girls' night.
Our own party. There are other girls on the ship, you know.
Well, there are, but you guys admit it. You know what? I'm not going to get into it. Sorry. I went to go see Gantharuk, and I asked him to get something for me, and I want to give it to you, Mira. I think, or I hope, that it could help with what you have going on.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. He pulls out the bag and he pulls out the stone and he goes, this stone should be able to contain a certain level of arcana. And from what we learned, part of the reason why you're hurt is from that. And I was hoping that if you could spend some time with this, you'd be able to essentially extract any of the pain or the arcana of the potential curse from your arm into this. Now, here's the good thing. Maybe not the good thing, but here's a thing. Once it has that power, whatever it is inside of it, it can be expelled. But after that, it needs time to charge. The second half you do with what you want. The first half, if you could spend some time while we're up in the air to see if it'll help.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he's gonna hand it over.
Shiny rock cancels out shiny rock. Hope it helps.
I don't like the way when you say things like that. It makes me feel like I did something that doesn't help.
No, no. That's not it at all. I just, I enjoy the synchronicity of having a crystal to maybe heal the damage that another crystal did.
I remember you guys were hanging out one time and I was walking by your room and all I heard you both go was crystal girlies. I don't know what that means. But I thought it would help.
Merritt pulls just a little, I don't know, malachite shard out of her pocket. Here, you can be a crystal girly too.
It just grabs it. It's like, crystal girly. Okay, I'll keep it. And find like a rope or something. I'll tie it around my neck. Let me know.
Friend, did you get me a souvenir from the city?
Did you forget to bring Oriana the first time when you went in the city?
Are you kidding right now?
Have you spoken to them?
I tried to apologize. She was not feeling ready for it yet. So I'm giving her some space and we'll talk when she is ready.
It's good that you tried. I appreciate you doing that. It's important. I didn't bring you a crystal. I apologize. But I saw that you didn't get any pie, so I brought you this slice of pie. Aha! You thought I don't pay attention, but I do. This is yours.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You enjoy your crafts. Make sure everyone gets an invitation that should be coming, please. All right.
Yep.
Perfect. Hey, what's the deal with you and Phelan? And then just kind of just goes away.
Amazing. Deb, you can go onto Mira's character sheet. You can add spell gem to your inventory. You'll see in the list a whole bunch of them. There is one in there that will say Bloodstone, and you can read the full description of what it does and let me know if you have any questions. Kay, do you have anything for Sisk before we move on to the travel time?
I've been racking my brain. I've been coming up blank. I think I'm just doing TIG stuff, engineering stuff. nunchuck stuff. I don't know.
Okay. Did Sisk make nunchucks in Ysterra, or nunchucks exist in Ysterra now?
I mean, they can, yeah. Let's
Great.
do it.
Sisk has invented nunchucks. The question is, what are they made from?
Oh no, that's gross. Never mind. I'm gonna keep thinking.
Okay, you think about that. You think about what you've done. You know what you did. You think about it. All right. So we are going to kind of fast travel through the next few days, mainly because I don't want to put Deb and Beth through the pain of role-playing out that scene every night. Over the course of the next several days before you all arrive at Takanoru, this is a downtime moment for all of you, where you will have several days to do various things that you might want to be doing. Now, we've already started that a little bit with Mira, with what you were telling me about researching in the books. So if there's anything else you want to add to that, feel free, but we'll go ahead and resolve the book aspect of things. If you would like to, please go ahead and make a investigation check for me. Remember, you are at disadvantage unless you try to do something to mitigate that, which can include spending a advantage from chat. But you just have to tell me what you're doing.
My passive is 17, so I'm going to use that.
You can't use a passive when you are at disadvantage on something. You have to roll.
Damn. Okay. 12.
Okay. You have a very difficult time getting beyond the propaganda elements of the book. Now, that isn't to say that this task is over. You can keep trying at this task later on, but for the purposes of this downtime, you basically end up exhausting yourself trying to get answers to your questions. I will say that there is no mention anywhere that you can find in the books, so we can at least eliminate one aspect of this. There is no mention of the Vizier, either in official or the unofficial terms that you know them to exist as in either of the books. But what else is Mira doing on these few days of downtime?
Mira is like making the best blanket fort there ever was, because she really wants to help 80 fix things with Oriana, and so she is like using all of her brain power to read the books, and then to get out of her head, she's like, all right, I'm channeling all of my energy into making the best sleepover ever.
Okay. Brilliant. We'll say that the sleepover does happen the night before you guys arrive in Takanoru. And we don't have to go into the details of that just yet. You had told me previously offline that you were also wanting to kind of dig into the plans that you had acquired from
Yes.
not Terathos, from Kelisnor.
Yes.
What does that look like, as you also have to bring in Dove and Sisk and or 80 into the mix of that? What does that look like over those few days?
I think early on she would have just handed Dove the plans and been like, here, I have these, take a look. When you've sort of gotten through the material, let's chat about them and see what we can do. And then maybe like the end of day 2 or early day 3, she would have checked in with both Dove and Sisk to see if what thoughts they had and what notes they had taken and what questions they had.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
$13.
Okay. So by the 4th day, you will have gone back and forth between Dove and Sisk. There's been a lot of discussion amongst the three of you. Some measurements are taken of Mira's hand and wrist, basically from the elbow down. And by that 4th day, it isn't like a full-on prototype or anything, but there starts to be a little bit of almost like a skeleton of a prototype that is being put together. And so that's progress, I guess, is a way of looking at it. And you can take with that what you will and how that impacts Mira. She's not wearing anything yet, and it's far from done, but progress is being made.
I think she also probably asked Byron for some like PT exercises, and remembering that like her sort of mental state and willpower and willingness to work through the pain and to make things happen is a lot of the process. It's not just like she's gonna put on this gauntlet and be fixed forever. So she wants to keep paying attention to the like daily stuff that she can do, along with trying to create this gauntlet.
Yeah, and that's a slow process, so it's good to keep up with it. What is Sisk doing during this opportunity for downtime? How's Sisk occupying themselves above and beyond the normal operations of the airship?
I think they probably keep trying to like chat or hang out with Oriana. And like if Oriana is still pretty standoffish, I don't think Sisk has no concept of why or how to fix this or help this.
I think it's fair to say that Oriana would open up a bit to Sisk.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, that would definitely help Oriana in the kind of funk that she is in.
Yeah, absolutely would want to. I think as soon as Oriana would start opening up, like literally the schedule is cleared. This is it. This is it, boys or girls. Let's do this. Yeah. And like, I think, yeah, just kind of trying to get in with the crew a little bit. Like, I think they've stepped on Phelan's toes a couple times. So like trying to just like chill out, hang out.
Yeah.
Be a pal, be a friend.
Be a crew member.
Yeah. Part of the team.
Yep. Awesome. What about Bren? Anything in particular of note during this downtime?
I think he's noticed that Ren, when they were here, took over a lot of the duties that he should know about, or at least should have tried to learn. So now he's kind of fallen in line with some of the rest of the crew, as opposed to giving orders. Like, he gives direction because people look to him for it. He's taking the time to do it with them. Like, I know I ask you to do this every day. Teach me how to do it. So just in case you don't feel well or something happens, like, I can do that. So he's really been focusing on that. Additionally, he has been working with Sisk or with Mira in reference to the maps, so that he also understands those as well. The more people within that brain trust who knows what's going on and how to read it, the better in his mindset.
Yeah. I think that a lot of that, that makes a ton of sense, but also there's this notion of you don't notice something until it's missing sometimes, right? And so, like, you really didn't know everything that Ren was doing until Ren's not there to do it anymore. And so I think that has a huge impact on Bren. And as far as the maps go, like, Bren understands a map. It's really just a language barrier at this point. And so once he starts, kind of making heads or tails of what is where on the map, that becomes a little bit simpler. Still not easy, but yeah, I think it's definitely something that you guys can work on together, for sure. And Beth, what does 80's downtime look like?
She would definitely want to spend some time working with anyone who's trying to figure out Mira's hand situation, specifically Dove, because they spent some good time together working on things earlier on in their travels. And so I think she, obviously really respects him and believes in his abilities. But I also think she's a little bit protective of her sister. And so being a part of figuring this all out lets her feel like she's also watching over things and making sure that nobody is making any decisions that would have a negative impact on her sister. And so I think she doesn't really tell herself that's why she's there, but, that's part of it. So depending on how all of that goes, how extensive things are, what her role in all of that might look like, I know that she is definitely helping Mira plan a really killer slumber party. She would make baked goods and party favors and things like that. I also think that she would spend some quiet time with Tig, because Tig is somebody who's easy for 80 to be around.
He's really good at being quiet.
Yeah. And she appreciates that because they're quiet externally as well as internally. And I think that that's helpful. I don't know how much she would want to continue helping Tig learn how to cook, because I imagine that is a very difficult task and some things might have been scorched. But I think she's really reeling quite a bit with everything that's been going on. And I think the thing that's sort of tickling the back of her brain through all of this is just wondering what her magic is doing and why she has it in the first place, and what is she capable of, and is that going to be something that is negative? Like, is she going to think that she has so much power and then do something bad? And she just kind of like spirals through a lot of overthinking with all of it, only to come back to the beginning and start again.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of opportunity over those days for 80 to kind of recenter herself a little bit, taking these kinds of moments to reflect, to, become part of the crew, so to speak, in several different ways. And everyone's fairly open to all of that. Like, as much as 80 might be, feeling all of the dramatic elements of the emotions behind things, there really isn't a lot of drama on the ship, so to speak, to reinforce that. And so it probably helps her quite a bit throughout all of it. For the slumber party, is it just the two of you and Oriana?
No, I think Mira extended an invitation to Sisk. Is that right? Wonderful.
I think
was there
there would
anybody
be
else?
A courtesy invitation to Nora as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then just a silly little "No Boys Allowed" sign outside the door that's, specifically meant to annoy Bren, I guess, but just about anybody. And then there's like a whole line underneath it about how like gender is a spectrum, and depending on how you identify, whether or not you're invited into this room. And then like in the tiniest script, it says, Bren keep out.
Hey, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. You
Get
guys need
out!
anything? Okay, I'll just say. I'll just go.
I'm assuming that Sisk participates in the sleepover.
Yeah. I think Sis goes in drag as themselves, and then they just kind of put some makeup on their blue skin. It's kind of weird looking. Yeah.
Heck
Nice.
yeah.
I gotta be femme for this
love
part.
that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
You don't have to be femme for this part. It's a vibe more than anything, but lean into it.
I will.
I think that goes a long way to mending the rift between Adi and Oriana. They probably have a bit of a heart-to-heart talk at some point throughout that experience. Not a full, forgiveness thing, because I don't think that would solve the issue, right? It's more of just an understanding that, it happened and it's fine and we'll figure out a way to move past it, sort of deal. Right?
Yeah.
And so the following day, after the sleepover, you all start the few hours left in your journey to reach Takanoru. And as you all have crested through Kuvalia, it is important to note that the landscape has changed some. When you were on the coastline, everything was very vibrant colors with a range of pastels, and there was long stretches of plateaued land out on the coastline that, was beautiful in so many ways. And as you move into the more central region of Kuvalia, the landscape changes. And while it's still beautiful in its own right, the higher elevation here makes a difference. What had been preoccupied before by pastels and just a prismatic array of the elements, everything here is much stronger in earth tones. There's a lot deeper browns and some of the most amazing looking forests of pine that you have ever seen. There's very few plains to speak of. There's few settlements here in the central, slightly north-central regions. The terrain is much hillier. There's several steplands that you find. And the forests are often reds. Deep reds. As you continue this journey to Takanoru, your maps carry you well enough in the direction. You have to course correct, of course, a few times. You see it as it rests amid the rolling, terraced hills of the central Kuvalian landscape. At least some of you, probably Sisk, maybe even Bren to a certain degree, would recognize a soil that is rich here. Rivers that run calm and clear, red-leafed fruit orchards that stretch in all directions. Harvest isn't quite yet, but you can already see signs of spring bloom in many, many places. As you see the small townscape of Takanoru, the place cannot have more than maybe 1,000 people. From your elevated perspective, you can see pathways of carved stone, worn wooden homes. There's a beauty to it. There's a simplicity in it. The farmlands that are stretched around in various spots, wherever there's an emptiness of trees, there's a farm built into the steps. Sometimes you think you might be able to spot a place where some trees perhaps were raised in order to put in a farm. I mean, the buildings had to get constructed somehow, after all. But you see a community, a quiet community. And there's a certain honesty to that. It's a simpler life here. You can tell very clearly a number of buildings that you can see. There's a central gathering hall, very likely. You think you spot a temple or a shrine mixed amongst a patch of trees. Most of the homes are very rustic, even if they're well built. And you see plenty of people moving about, carts pulled by beasts of burden, folks gathering up for whatever previous week's harvest to be sold or bartered with one another. But as your ship moves into view, people notice. The sight of the Aurora's Explorer would be a miracle to anyone, but particularly it has an effect on these people. Whatever activity that was taking place within the town comes to an abrupt halt, almost like a wave that ripples across Takanoru. The first folks spotted your airship, and that cascades. You don't hear any sounds of alarm. There's no bells, there's no tolls ringing or anything like that. No one is putting out a call to arms or anything like that. But there's a fascination that captivates. And as you all drift closer to Takanoru, I have to ask, where do you intend to touch down? There is a river that runs adjacent to the town, and it looks big enough and deep enough. There's a very large bridge that crosses it, after all, that you feel like you could touch the ship down in the river if you wanted. Drop anchor, per se. There's a central clearing in the middle of the town, but the ship would probably take up a good portion of that, maybe too much. Where do you think you would go?
I'm for water travel. I don't know.
I feel like whatever might feel the least like I don't know, sensational. So if landing on water with a ship seems normal for them, I don't know.
There's nothing normal about what we are doing right now.
I know.
We have a flying boat. Is the waterways, does it look like if we had parked it, it would block transport, shipping, anything?
I mean, you'll
like
take
that?
up about half the river, but you haven't seen that many river boats here, and the few boats that you do see that are in the river now are smaller vessels that could easily get around if need be.
Okay. It's a boat. Put it on the water.
As you drift closer to the river, one or more of you are able to spot, particularly 80, I think, given her keen eyes, are able to spot quite an array of seemingly small lanterns floating in the river. It's full daylight at this point, but you can see a little bit of flicker of light within them. If you mention this to Sisk, Sisk will say that communally, the Kavalian people are often spiritual in one way or another, even if they're not necessarily religious, and sometimes these things are tied to some spiritual event or other, whether it be an asking of the ancestors for a good spring harvest, or the aftermath of perhaps a wake or a funeral. Could be any number of different things. Not going to really impede the ship at all. It's just something worth noting. As you all drift the ship down towards the river, do you stay outside of the town, or do you just go right up to the docks closest to the township?
Well, they have docks. I don't know.
They're small, but serviceable.
I'd like to pitch the idea. If we can dock on the water that's less like as least in the way as we possibly can, whether that be out of town or someone, you know what, out of town sounds good. Gotta keep it a little ways out of the way.
You can see a crowd gathering in the town already.
What else is new? We're the cool kids. No, still,
whether it's one of
space.
you or one of the other crew members, someone will point out that crowd is going to come looking for the airship regardless of where we park it.
So what? We just be center stage? Cut the middleman?
Yeah,
I
Thanks,
say
dog.
to this crewmate.
Let's leave the engine running. So we'll touch down, and then tonight we can lift off. We'll just go like a little bit away. I don't know. I just don't want to be in town for security reasons, you know?
I agree, but I mean, it also, if people are just going to come out and find us, we might as well just, we'll park outside the town. We'll park in the back parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do that. As you all touch down into the water, the landing procedure, you've had a few days practice without Ren, so it's not as difficult as perhaps it was the first day of your journey out. But when you touch down into the water, there's a strong current. It threatens to actually push the ship downriver at first, and you all have to struggle with getting the anchor dropped and mooring the ship as much as you possibly can. It's worth noting that in doing so, it means that taking off that's just another layer of complication to trying to take off quickly. As long as you can manage that, it's not going to be too difficult, but if you were to try to escape quickly, that would be an impediment. And very shortly after you all get the ship down in the water, settled in place and moored, you can see cresting over one of the hills a crowd of people headed in your direction. Probably 40 or 50 amongst their number.
All right. We've been here before. We know what we need to do. Who has the museum pillar with the information? Where is that?
Tig has it somewhere.
Okay. Just set that up. Be nice. Don't kill anybody. we'll get through this initial part, and then everything will die down.
Sounds good. Tig and I will get in position.
Okay.
Thank you. Real quick, I'm going to shuffle over to Dove and be like, can you draw up a plan to reinforce the anchor? Maybe we can find somebody in town to help us with that.
Reinforce it how?
We kind of had trouble dropping the anchor when we came in. It seems like the currents are very strong. I feel like that's going to happen the more places we go. Best to be prepared.
I mean, I can look into making it heavier if that's what you mean.
Make the anchor heavier, please.
Sure. Figure it out.
You.
So, Sisk, as you step out, there's that crowd of people that are making their way. You have plenty of time to set up what did you call it? The museum post?
Yeah, the museum pillar.
The museum pillar. You have plenty of time to get that set up. But as you see this crowd moving towards you, I would like for you to go ahead and give me an insight check, please.
They're coming to kill us.
Okay, let me fix my fucking windows here. I'm going to use one of my advantages to make it a straight roll because I have disadvantage on insight.
Okay.
Wish me luck. That is not as bad. 17.
Hey, that's pretty good. It becomes very apparent to you that this is not, this isn't like a witch hunt crowd. This is not the scene from Frankenstein where, the villagers have pitchforks and torches and are coming to burn your boat down or anything like that. This is just a group of people that are curious about seeing a boat flying through the sky. And there's definitely a murmur amongst that crowd. But as you see them approaching, Jesus Christ, dog, stop it. Can't hear me. As you see this crowd approaching, there's two individuals that you feel like are like at the forefront that are leading the crowd. Seriously? Stop. That are leading the crowd. One of them is a young human, probably not more than 22, 23 years old. And the other is an Earth Genasi man. Kind of hard to tell exactly how old he is, just because Earth Genasi are a little bit more difficult with that. But he's certainly older than the human man. Again, it's not that they're leading the crowd as much as they're just the ones in the front. It almost feels to you like they were the ones that somehow got nominated to be up front. Nobody else had the guts to do it, but like once they agreed to it, everybody kind of fell in behind them. And so all of the other individuals that are behind are just very much common townsfolk. Right? I mean, they all look like common townsfolk. They're not peasants per se, but this isn't an affluent township by any means. And so, as they approach, they get close enough to you, and the human calls out to you in an effort to perhaps sound, more confident than he really is. The human calls out to you and says, "Hello there. That's a fine vessel you have. Are you coming to Takanoru for a reason?" And at this point, they're only about 15 or 20 feet away from you. Sorry, Ian, I missed that. What was that?
I said there's a Monty Python joke in there somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so, Sisk, as you see them, and this young man has apparently been nominated in some capacity to speak for the crowd, how do you respond?
I think I'm gonna really push on the travelers and tourists and goes, so hello, thank you for the kind welcome. We are travelers and tourists. We were directed this way from why am I now blanking on where we just were? Atarak, yes, thank you. We just were at Atarak, and they said to come and visit here. It looks, you have a beautiful town from what we saw from above. I hope you will give us the honor of being able to meet with, people in town and trade with you and learn a little bit about you, see what your sights.
Oh, and he kind of seems surprised by all of this, as surprised as I am for Rebels Without a Cause joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, Raiders. Welcome in. Hey, Justin. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Welcome in. As this young man kind of processes what you said, there's a moment of confusion as he doesn't know Atarak. And then he talks to the other man that is with him. And the Earth Genasi kind of like turns towards you and speaks up and says, Atarak, right, coastline. Yeah, okay. All right, trade, sure. We do trade here. Yeah. That's what we do. And he just seems like a little bit, he's not simple per se, he's just confused.
Your people here, are you farmers? I think we saw orchards flying in.
Yeah, and at the notion of like orchards and farmers, he's like, it changes his demeanor dramatically. You get the sense that he is an orchard farmer. Like you nailed him. And he just, yeah. We don't have the harvest yet. Fresh spring and all that. But we're expecting something soon, probably in the next month or so. But we have plenty to offer in town if that's come on in. How many of you are there?
Ooh, great question.
Also, I need to ask, because I didn't ask this earlier, what form is Sisk taking right now?
I think this is going to be the Serval one.
Serval still? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify, because I realized that I forgot to ask this before. Yeah, so he asks, how many of you are there?
Well, I don't know if we'll all come at once. Some of us are a little shy, but there's at least, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting the people on screen briefly. Phelan, Oriana, Tig. Ren's not there. Are we at 8?
Oh.
Yeah. Are we at 8 right now?
So you're at 6 besides the 4 of you.
Yeah.
Do you have Dove and...
Because there's the
yeah,
family.
I counted Nora, Dove, Taryn, Oriana, Phelan.
Pig. And then the 4 of you.
Oh, okay. I just don't know how to count. 10.
I love how you were counting on your fingers and still, like, it wasn't more than 10. It wasn't less than 10. Still problematic.
Maybe the guy identifies with me because I'm having a hard time counting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 10.
He absolutely would identify with me for that. Oh, great. 10. Okay. I don't think that the inn has 10 rooms. No, the inn doesn't have 10 rooms. Just so okay. You know.
We have some space on our ship, so I'm sure we'll take it in shifts. I'm sure
there's
we'll
a
all try to enjoy
murmur
it.
amongst the crowd, and the young human kind of speaks up, and he says, "Oh, yeah, your ship. That's quite impressive. How does it fly?"
Awesome. I'm so glad you asked. And then I'm going to get into this little spiel. I think I've memorized the one that Mira gave way back when. So I'm basically going through that, maybe omitting a word here or there to just kind of even simplify it from there, because I think it was still a pretty in-depth explanation.
As Sisk is going through this spiel, what are the rest of you doing?
Oh, jeez. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go through this again. This is gonna be every time now. Perfect. Let's go mingle.
I think Mira grabs Bren's elbow and says, we need to, I don't know, maybe discreetly ask about Liren's mom. Her name was Mika.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe she has more information about what happened to Liren, and maybe she saw the Umberless Flame. I don't know. It might be a lead.
Or she has no idea what happened to her.
Yeah.
We're gonna show up with some happy but yet unfortunate news. So, okay. I go back to my first plan. Let's mingle.
As you are doing that, 80, you will notice Oriana kind of off to the side, looking over the deck out at the town, and you see that her eyes are opened. Her eyes across her body, that is. And she has a hand up, and there's a little tiny weave of magic kind of rolling through her fingers. And she turns to look at you, and the magic starts to fade. You can see that her eyes had turned pure black before coming back to normal as the magic fades. And there's a small smile on her face as she turns to you, and she says, I think it's okay. I think we're going to be okay. This feels
That's good to hear.
This feels good. And she starts heading towards the ladder to leave the ship.
See, I trust this place less now, just so you know.
You trust this place less, but does 80 trust this place less?
No, I guess not.
At least we're being honest. So, all of you heading off the ship. Phelan volunteers to stay behind, just to keep someone on board the ship. Then Dove volunteers to stay behind so that Phelan doesn't have to volunteer, and the two of them get into a, no, I'm staying behind. No, I'm staying behind, discussion with each other until they're both staying. Nora says, no, you're both staying behind now. Congratulations, children. And so the whole rest of you start to depart the ship, I assume. You all head down. Sisk finishes their spiel. Someone starts to ask about Tig, who's there with you, right? Tig is there with you. Someone starts to ask about Tig when the rest of the crew departs and starts heading over. And Varen, the young human boy, kind of takes a step forward. And it's very noticeable that he actually has a short sword on his hip. And he has his hand on the hilt of the short sword very casually. Not in an effort to be intimidating or anything. That just seems to be a natural position where his hand would go based on where it is on his hip. And he just kind of takes a step forward, and he kind of holds up a hand and says, hello, welcome to Takanoru. Please come into town. We'd love to have you.
What's your job here?
Oh,
Friend?
so I'm Varen. I'm in charge of the watch. Making sure that everyone here stays safe. And you hear a couple of chuckles amongst the crowd that are quickly quieted.
We appreciate that we're going to be under your charge for the time being. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. We're wonderfully safe here in Takanoru. And there's an awkwardness to this whole thing. And he can recognize that there's an awkwardness. And he recognizes that you recognize that there's an awkwardness. And he starts to he gestures a hand towards the town, and the crowd kind of parts to let you all through.
Really, all of this fanfare, is it necessary? Just go back to what you were doing, what you were normally doing. We'll meet most of you or all of you soon. It's perfectly fine.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
Okay. Okay, use my phone. Crap. This one. And I'm going to use an advantage.
Okay. Good thing you used that advantage. 14 on the die.
Solid. So it's a 15 total.
Okay. With a 15 total, that's not going to make the entire crowd depart, right? Yeah. But a good chunk of people start heading back into town ahead of you, and the rest kind of fall in behind you as you all walk through. Yeah. You are
it's
all
a parade.
It's a bit of a parade. You all are led into the town of Takanoru, and as you are making your way into the town, I'd like for everybody to please make a perception check.
Ooh. Can I use my passive?
You can.
Okay, it's 21.
Am I still at disadvantage?
No, we're going to say that is enough time has passed that you're getting used to the chronic pain element of it, and you're functioning a little bit better now.
I am going to use one of my advantages, just for fun.
I got a 19.
I got 2 19, so 25 altogether.
Okay. And Beth, your passive is 22 or something, right?
21, yeah.
21, okay. How'd you do, Ian? I think I saw 4 on your dice. Okay. What is Bren distracted by as he walks into this tiny town?
Yeah, the fact that it's a tiny town and there's so many people and they're all here. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, as you all head into town, you see more people. Everyone is coming outside. Basically, the town is now gathering. The entirety of it is now gathering. There are folks being woken up in the middle of, whatever, if they were, night people that sleep during the day. Everyone is waking up. This entire sleepy, quiet little town is coming to life in response to your arrival.
Would you say that this was a provincial town?
A bit. A bit.
It's the complete intro to Beauty and the Beast. I love it. Okay.
There's not singing, though. There's no singing. Much to Kay's chagrin.
Not yet, at least.
But there is a guy yelling for Marie to get the baguettes and to hurry up. That's canon.
I need 6 eggs.
It's too
Except this is Cavalia, so it's Maurice or Maricette or something like that, because you can't use Marie. Yeah. So as you all are being escorted into town, Bren being fairly well distracted by the sheer number of people, The rest of you are able to kind of tell very clearly that this is probably the most exciting thing that has happened to Takanoru in quite some time.
Maybe the founding.
Maybe. Most from this perspective, now that you're on, land and kind of seeing all of the buildings and everything, some of these buildings are fairly old, but because the size of the town being what it is, you don't think that Takanoru has existed for that long. It's a very quiet, sleepy little place. In some ways, it's almost like the perfect place to disappear if you wanted to. Certainly, this was the type of place that 80 would have considered at one time or another if she wanted to hide her gift. And I think Sisk has probably taken up residence in tiny, sleepy little towns like this before. Not this one, obviously, but others similar to it, when trying to avoid capture or whatever work that they had been doing in their previous life. It's just a quiet little place. For Sisk and 80, you also note very clearly that the orientation of the town is such that even though it's built on steps, different elevations at different parts of the town, there isn't any significant place where, like in a normal town or a city, you might find, oh, that's the rich people live over there, right? Or that's where all of the merchants, congregate and that sort of thing. Everything is just kind of mixed up. Everything is a little bit haphazard in a way, with one exception. At the northwestern edge of the town, kind of rising above several of the other buildings, sitting up and mixed with a bunch of trees of very ancient demeanor, you see weeping willows that stand out starkly from the rest of the trees of this area. The willows themselves are almost serene in a way, and amongst them you see signs of what is very obviously a religious building. You don't know what ascendant it is dedicated to, but there is a temple there. Very apparent temple. You don't really have a ton of time to kind of contemplate that, however, because the town, as vibrant as it has instantaneously become with your arrival, there's a bit of a commotion that starts to take place. Lots of people are asking questions. More than a few of them kind of get directed at all of you, but it's a bit chaotic and a bit of a cacophony in a way. And so any attempts to answer kind of get lost in other questions. Varen is trying desperately to maintain order and failing completely in that task. And you don't get the sense that it's for a lack of respect of the young man or anything like that, as much as it is, no, there's literally 1,000 people, gathered in the streets right now, and you are all at the center of it. As you are at the center of it, a chime rings out. A bell that tolls so loudly that it can only be magical, because you don't see a bell tower. You don't see a massive metal structure that could possibly have given off the resonance of this chime. And the crowd parts. And as the crowd parts, you see a woman walking towards you. There's a slight familiarity to her, actually. The the bone structure of the face. Perhaps this is an older version of Lorraine. She's a fire genasi for certain, and she has that glare and intensity of her expression that speaks well of her heritage. She approaches all of you, her hair black as ash, her skin vibrant, and the intense look with which she affixes to all of you. You can tell very clearly that she is a woman of authority. And the crowd hushes instantaneously as she walks towards you. As she approaches, Varen runs over towards her and says, Killmaster, we have guests, arrivals, and she just holds up a hand, and he quiets, and she just nods and says, yes, I can see that. My question is, what is their purpose here? And as she stares at the lot of you, we're going to end there tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you said Killmaster. What more?
Killmaster.
Yeah, like a kill. Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Like a kill.
Not Killmaster. Not killing.
No, not
master.
Death. Not death. Yeah. Like
Kill
for
master.
pottery.
Yes. Something like that. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. It was good to get back in the saddle after being off last week, and I look forward to continuing to tell this story next time as we learn what this sleepy little town has to offer our would-be travelers. You are all so much appreciated, and I hope you have an amazing week before we see you again soon.